welcome to Davita's Stampin' Spot. It's time for a project. This is one that I've been so excited to share with you. It's a technique that Brandy Cox shared with me several months ago, but I just haven't been able to make a recording with it. And we used it in class last night, and so I wanted to share it with all of you that didn't get to come to class. So I'm going to switch the camera around. I'm using the gears and textures. Oh, my camera just logged off again. Well, I finally got it connected and now it disconnected again. So, well, I'll talk to you for a few minutes. So I'm using the gears and the texture stamp set. And what I've done is I've cut out some of the dies, and those are what we're going to play with today. So I think I showed you in an earlier video and gave a little bit of a tease that you can take your blending brushes and just add some depth, some aging to your gears. I guess this makes me think of like an old rusty factory, or maybe at the ocean, how they age. And I wanted to do aging even more, and that's what Brandy shared with me. So you can just use your blending brush, just like you saw me do here. And I think I even did a video a few weeks ago with that. But let me show you what else you can do. So this is our embossing paste. And I'm going to use some embossing paste and some embossing powder on the gears. Now with our paste, you do want to keep it sealed. Make sure it's sealed because it will dry out. And I always mix it all up really good. And you want to clean your palettes as soon as you're done because it does stick on there. All right, so I'm going to just smear a little bit of paste on these. All right. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. That one's hopping around. I think the gals last night had fun with this, just getting to play with it and see how this just looked so cool. All right, just takes a little tiny bit of paste. All right. Now, for a couple of these, I'm going to use gold. So I've got our gold embossing powder, and I'm going to quickly put it over the paste. You don't want your paste to dry, because if it does, then the powder isn't going to stick to it. Okay. So I'm going to put gold on. This is the metallic papers that we have. I love these. I'm not a big shimmery type person, but this looks so cool. Now, if you don't want the gold everywhere, like I don't want it here, you could just brush it off. These pieces have been in a Ziploc bag, so they're kind of staticky. All right, so that's the gold. And I'm going to grab a separate tray, and we're going to put some copper on the gold. Now, if you wanted to, you could mix your different embossing powders on here, and I could play with this for a couple hours and show you, but I'm not going to do that to you. So I will just do one color on each one. All right, so now they look kind of messy. I'll see if I get up close. So I always tell people when they do embossing, it goes from from sticky, like with the Versamark, but instead of using the Versamark right now, we are using the paste as our sticky. And then we made it sandy by putting the embossing powder on it. Now I'm going to put them on my clipboard, and we're going to heat them up and make them shiny. And wait till you see what the paste does. All right. Grab my heat tool. Should have plugged this in before, but I didn't. All right, here we go. I won't talk while I'm doing this. See if you can catch, maybe I can put a third one on there. What happens? Right. So look how cool these look now. See how they're aged? They look like they've been weathered outside. And it's hard to see on here, but there's actually depth on these. Oh, can you see how that puffs up? The embossing paste puffs up. So you get the embossing powder on there and then it pops up. I just think this looks so cool. So let me show you another idea was I laid the the die cut piece on my paper. So I laid it like this. Actually, it might be this one, I can tell. I laid it like this. Then I took my paste and well, I'll just show you here. If I can get it to stick down here. I thought this was really cool. So take your paste and rub it across here. So what it's doing is you're going to get the reverse image. Oops, stuck to my fingers. Okay, so see how I'm just going to wipe that across there? All right, then I'm going to pull this off. So we're going to get the reverse here. All right, we'll do this. We'll kind of mix it this time. This would make a really cool background. It would take a little time because you need to lay all the pieces out and lay them in there and do this. Okay. All right, I'll be quiet now and we'll heat this up. And I think this is for my friends that love that vintage look. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So now you could take that, cut that strip and put it on a card and just look at that texture. Just think this is so fun. So I hope you like this tip. I would love to see what you do with it, with your embossing paste as well as your embossing powders. Let me show you the cards they made last night. They made this one where it weathered these and then I had them hooked together so it looked like they were gears moving in motion. And then here's the other one I did with the gears and the happy birthday. I thought the gold was easier to see than the silver or the copper. So I would say the gold maybe pops better on the dark gray. So I hope you love this technique and that you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you can order from me, I would sure appreciate it. All sales are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.